Yemen is considered the worst place in the world for women to live.
It was first formed as a nation in 1990. During the first 4 years of its unity, there were constitutional and legal measures in place that guaranteed women's equality. Gradually, legislative setbacks followed by the 1994 Civil War resulted in gender inequality. The country is currently in shambles again, putting much of the women's rights movement on hold.
Women do not have equal rights to child custody, divorce, or inheritance. The state of women's health in Yemen is among the poorest in the world. The Yemeni government spends a low of 3.4% of its annual general budget on the health sector.
No legal provisions guarantee women's freedom to make decisions about their health or reproductive rights. A husband often controls a woman's choice regarding the number of children she will have, the length of time between births, as well as whether or not she may visit a hospital or undergo surgery.
Women require permission from a male to travel or even receive a passport.
A woman is considered only half a witness. A single woman's testimony is not taken seriously unless it is backed up by a man's.
Catholicism teaches us that every person has a right to the conditions for living a decent life: food, healthcare, housing, education, and employment. Women in Yemen do not receive these basic rights and therefore are not receiving proper justice.
Women are not allowed to marry without the permission of their male guardians.
There are no legal protections for women who suffer from domestic violence in Yemen. While a married woman may report acts of violence against her committed at the hands of her husband, a physical trace of violence must be visible on her body. Female literacy is 28.5 compared to the male literacy of 69.5.
Many families deny their daughters the right to education for cultural or economic reasons.
Although there are no legal restrictions against women's rights to education, some institutions do not permit women.
48% of women are married before the age of 18.
There are high levels of child marriage, with girls as young as 8 forced into marriage, which may cause girls serious physical and emotional harm and deny them their education and other opportunities. Although not a law, women who do not wear burqas are often harassed by the public.
Verbal harassment serves to humiliate women and often leads to families to prohibit daughters and women from leaving the home.
As Catholics, we need to make sure to take care of the poor and vulnerable. In Yemen, women are the most vulnerable people in their society, and they are not treated very well. This reflects directly on Yemeni society.
The value of the life of a woman is equal to half that of a man.
Only 8.2% of women in Yemen report paid employment.
No laws protect women against sexual harassment in the workplace.
As Catholics, we are taught about the life and dignity of the human person. Everyone is created in the image of God. Women in Yemen deserve the dignity and respect which we give to God, and they are not receiving that. Will Picard is a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania, where he majored in modern Middle East studies and Southwest Asian conflict studies. Will first visited Yemen in 1999 when he was 17 years old. He has obsessively studied Yemeni history and current events ever since. He is one of the founders of the Yemen Peace Project.
I'm the founder and executive director of the Yemen Peace Project, a nonprofit organization based in California that works to transform the relationship between the U.S. and Yemen by fostering understanding between Americans and Yemenis and advocating for a more peaceful and constructive U.S. foreign policy. Half of all Yemenis lack access to clean drinking water and food. Yemen's economy is in ruins, with the majority of Yemenis unemployed at this point. A lack of access to education is one major challenge for women. The literacy rate in Yemen is very low, and it's lower for women than it is for men. In a lot of rural areas especially, there aren't schools at all, and where schools are built, they're generally built for boys before girls. Many girls are forced to leave school early, either to work to support their families or to take care of their siblings or their own children. The patriarchy will always say that women's issues can be addressed as soon as the latest crisis is resolved, but the truth is that real stability and prosperity is impossible as long as inequality exists. Yemen's stability depends on women's empowerment. Women need to be involved in Yemen's political process right now. Any future constitution has to not only guarantee the civil and human rights of women, but it must also include mandatory quotas for women's participation in parliament and in the executive and judicial branches of government. Activists have been working for years now to raise the minimum legal age of marriage, and that needs to happen immediately so that girls are protected from exploitation.
Women are taking a stand.
Just like the struggle for racial and ethnic equality, or the struggle for the rights of indigenous people, gender equality is a universal cause, and it's a fight we can only win with international solidarity.
We need to unite as a world and a nation to help women achieve their rights in Yemen.